When I was a lot younger in my teenage years, I used to be extremely socially awkward. I was the guy that tried to, put my hood on, put my earbuds on, and try to diminish my presence as much as possible so that no one really focuses on me. In terms of aura, like the kids say, it was probably negative. My power level was under 9,000. And it simply came down to the fact that I cared way too much about how people perceived me in whatever social setting I was. You're constantly filtering yourself and worried about people thinking you're weird or awkward. And you fail to realize that that's what's actually making you feel more weird and awkward. Like just constantly being in your head all the time about how you're perceived. I used to hate giving presentations in class, like the worst thing ever. I'd have to tense up to make sure my nerves don't show, constantly clear my voice to not stutter. I'd get up in front of the class and be like a deer in headlights. You kind of start shaking, your eyes start watering, your pupils start getting dilated. It's like the worst experience ever. Actually kind of similar to when I started doing this. Thankfully I deleted a lot of those early on camera videos. But what you gotta understand is that everything you experience is in your mind. It's mental, so that's from your perspective. All the anxiety and nerves you feel is predicated on your perspective to the situation. And when I realized this, it was two things that shifted my perspective, completely shifted my mindset. And the first thing is that nobody is better than you, and you're not better than anybody else. Like most of the times when you're self-conscious about how you're being perceived, it's normally to people that you view as better than you. And the second thing is, none of what actually makes you feel socially awkward and weird actually matters. Like think about how you interact with people that you don't really care about. That's the way you should be all the time. Like for guys, right? You're completely fine talking to a girl that you don't find attractive. Like the thought of her thinking that you're weird or awkward doesn't even cross your mind. And having that mindset is the most powerful. When you don't put anyone on a pedestal or realize that no one is better than you and you're not better than anybody else. And when I really internalized this, I just stopped giving a shit. I stopped putting people above me and my social anxiety disappeared. It was a complete shift in mentality and perspective. A few months ago, I went to a concert completely by myself for a group that I've followed for a while. And I had a friend that was like, isn't it kind of weird going by yourself? And I'm like, not really, because I kind of preferred doing things on my own. Again, going back to your mentality, it's only weird if you make it weird. It's only weird if you think it's weird. And I had VIP tickets to the concert, right? So I got to go to the venue early and get up close to the stage for a good view. And we were all standing in front of the stage waiting for the artist to do a sound check. And there was still about an hour and a half until they came out. So I looked at my phone and it was at 57%, so I turned it off because I wanted to make sure that I had battery to record the concert. So I turned off my phone and I was like, what do I do now? Because I couldn't move, otherwise I was going to lose my spot. And then I just came early for no reason. And I look around and everyone else is kind of in their friend groups. Everyone's wearing merch and they look like hardcore fans. I don't fit in, I don't have anything, I'm just there. And in front of me, slightly to the left, was a guy right up against the barricade. And he had his hood on and he was kind of like looking around nervously, trying to make sure that no one was looking at him. And he had all the gear, he had the light stick and everything. And the guy was just glued to his phone for like an hour straight with earbuds on. It was pretty obvious that he was pretty uncomfortable there just by himself. Like how socially awkward and uncomfortable he was kind of rubbing off on me. And in my mind I was just like, brother, relax. And since I didn't have anything to do, right, no phone, just standing there by myself with my arms crossed. So I tapped him on the shoulder and tried to strike up a conversation. I was like, hey, what's going on, man? And he just looked at me like he was shocked and went back to his phone like he didn't see me. Like I was some guy trying to rob him on the street. And I was like, okay, no convo, that's cool. So I legit just stood in the arena looking up at the ceiling for about an hour and a half straight, just waiting for them to come out, standing there by myself, with a bunch of people huddled up around me, either sitting down with the group or with their friends, etc. Like no one goes to a concert by themselves. And a long time ago in that situation, I probably would have had to go off somewhere else by myself to remove myself from the situation, just from feeling awkward. Just super self-conscious. Oh, what do people think? I'm a loser, no friends, I'm just standing here by myself. Everyone else has friends, aside from the guy standing in front of me. What if I look like a loser right now? And here's the thing, right? No one can make me feel awkward, and no person can make me feel uncomfortable. Only you can make yourself feel uncomfortable or awkward, because it's 100% mental. It's you inside your own head. It's your perspective to the situation. Like a lot of guys are worried about going on dates because they're afraid of those awkward silences. And I was actually on a date with a girl and I was driving and she asked me, do you feel awkward in silence? And I was like, awkward? Baby, I'm even more my element. I don't feel awkward. So the key thing is your perspective to the situation. That's why a homeless guy that found 20 bucks on the ground, right? He can be way happier or have a better day than you having a bad day at work, even though you made 400. When it comes to how you feel mentally, everything is perspective. So when I was able to finally internalize this, all that social anxiety went away. And honestly, I probably did look weird in that situation. Just a guy standing there by himself, not on his phone, just looking into space, at a K-pop concert just waiting by himself. The difference is I don't care, because what's gonna happen if some strangers think you're weird? Nothing. Like, nothing's gonna happen. And secondly, I don't look up to anybody. So I don't value someone else's opinion to the extent where it changes the way I move. The only thing that we can control is our mind and our actions, so why not control it in a way that's most beneficial towards you? And here's some actionable advice that you can actually apply, so I don't just leave you with some vague general advice. Go and practice your social skills every single day. I mean, first taking those two perspectives. The first being don't look up to anybody, and the second being none of this matters. So now, right, let's say you're in an elevator with a stranger, and every fiber of your body is telling you to reach for your phone and just go on it. Instead of doing that, force yourself to go, hey, how's your day going? Or let's say that you're walking, right, and you see someone walking towards you, and there's kind of that awkward build up and you're compelled to look away or look down. Make a conscious effort to keep your head up and maybe even smile if they look your way. Or when a lady's bagging your groceries at the grocery store, instead of awkwardly stare at her putting things in your bag, ask her how her shift's going. Just say, hey, how's your shift going? Oh, it's going good? That's great to hear. Oh, it's not doing great? Well, you're almost there. And the key thing is that you're practicing, you're conditioning yourself. You're conditioning yourself to not feel socially awkward, to actually go the opposite way, take that awkwardness and run right through it. You're conditioning yourself to be able to control a room or interaction whenever you walk in. And honestly, that's what makes you attractive to a woman on a biological level. Being able to be the guy that walks in the room, say what's up to everyone, having a smile on your face, just being able to control the energy of the room or change the complexion of the environment. Because you automatically make yourself the quote-unquote alpha, for lack of a better term. Because believe it or not, they all look to the head of the pack or the top of the tribe or whatever. As much as what 2000s Hollywood rom-coms tell you, she's not going to look at the guy in the corner with the hood on, or the guy in the club standing next to the bar with a drink in his hand standing by himself, and think, wow, he's so mysterious, I want to go talk to him. Realize people are just people. There's nothing to be afraid of. Like, I literally don't care who it is. I don't care if you take the most famous celebrities or president or whatever. I don't care. Because I don't see myself as better than anybody else, and I don't see anyone as better than me. We're all just people, so that's the mentality that you should embrace. And honestly, that's what made me comfortable to speak on camera and make videos. Because again, I grew up very introverted and very socially awkward. But that mentality and that mindset is what allows me to be authentic and be myself. Also, last thing, and this one's pretty obvious, but pretty much the answer to everything in life in some way, but make yourself a well-rounded individual. The more you work, the more experience you have, the more different things you do, the more you travel, experience equates to confidence. Like, just progressing and building yourself as a person builds your confidence and removes that anxious or awkward energy or being insecure or whatever. Like, you can't be confident just playing games in your room, not putting yourself out there, not doing new things. Of course you're going to be socially awkward if, let's say, you're a gamer that just stays inside all day. I mean, there's nothing wrong with gaming, especially with your friends, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, hopefully you got something from that. Thank you for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you stay true, and I'll talk to you real soon. Peace.